Guilt, a positive use for a negative emotion. Guilt is one of the most painful emotions that humans experience, but also one of the most common. Nobody enjoys feeling guilty, but this emotion serves an important purpose. It allows a person when he or she has done something wrong. This allows the person
allow 的另一种呢？
enable.
对，三单 enable 是。
This alone enables the person to make items and amends and work to help relationship that were damaged by their action. It can also motivate people to avoid making similar mistakes later. Nevertheless, guilt can be destructive if it is dealt with right way. It can cause people to avoid others because they are too embarrassed to apologize the action or inaction. Some try to avoid the pain of guilt by turning other worse habits. Others try to cover up their guilt by blaming others or become angry. Added complication is sometimes people feel guilt for about things that happen and they can control. One example of that is survivor's guilt. When people who survive in a disaster feel guilt because they escaped death when others didn't. Other people experience false guilty because of excessively high expectation for themselves then they cannot live up to. The purpose response to guilt depends on what kind of guilt you are dealing with. For false guilty, it is important to recognize guilt that the guilt doesn't reflect an actual ethical failure. For example, some false guilt focuses on faith to meet expectations you had for yourself. In this case, it is important to remind yourself that you have limits. No one is perfect and no one can do everything. So admitting your limited actually is a sign of humility. It's also important to acknowledge what you are feeling. Even when you don't feel guilty, these feelings are real and normal. Try to balance them with positive thoughts. But realize it often takes time for feeling to to change. It's possible that you feel guilty because you actually did something wrong or didn't do something that you should have. If so, don't try to conceal it. Apologize and ask for forgiveness. Learn from your mistake and try to avoid committing the same action again. Being reconciled with the person you hurt should make your guilty feel bad. Guilt is painful, but it will serve a good purpose if you use it well.
好。